political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.
My sources say that the argument Cornyn's camp is using against you with President Trump is an electability argument. They say he's more electable than you are. Do you find any irony in the fact that it was, in fact, Senator Cornyn who told the Houston Chronicle that Donald Trump wasn't electable in May of 2023?
It's amazing. Everything that he's saying about me, he said about Donald Trump, both in 2016 and 2024. So it is rather ironic that he's using the exact same arguments about me as he has Donald Trump. And the reality is, I actually think we've got a problem with John Cornyn getting elected because there are many MAGA conservatives that will not go out in the general election and vote for him. So he's just going to lose votes in the general election. I think he'll pick up a few independents, but there'll be more MAGA conservatives who will not go out and vote for John Cornyn. So I think we're at a net loss if John Cornyn is the nominee.
You're headed to a runoff with John Cornyn. Congratulations. You did great in the election. I want to ask a couple more Tallarico questions, but I guess the big question that a lot of people are wondering, Mr. Attorney General, is what will happen if President Trump endorses? He's asked for all the other candidates to drop out. Will you do that if President Trump endorses your opponent, John Cornyn?
Look, I think that the people of Texas deserve a choice. We've had John Cornyn in office for over 4 decades. I was in college, and I'm 63. He's been in office since I was in college. He's been representing us in the Senate, but he's not done it well. And when I've asked Texans, every stop, whether it's one person or 5,000 people, I've asked this question: can you name one good accomplishment of John Cornyn in the last, let's go back 40 plus years? And no one's ever given me an answer. Even his supporters cannot name one good accomplishment. We have many bad ones, including opposing President Trump on many of the issues like the border and amnesty and even his own election. So no, I'm going to give people in Texas a choice. The people in Washington can have their own opinion. The president can have his own opinion. But I've been in this race for almost a year, and we're going to win this race in the runoff.
The indication that President Trump might endorse you. I mean, do you think that have you been in communications with the president?
Well, I know that John Cornyn has suggested that Susie Wiles, as chief of staff, is behind this. I don't know what's true or not true. That we just had the election a day ago, and I'm out, pushing for my support because, my opponent just got done spending close to $100 million, and I spent $5 million, and I was within a point. So my goal is to step that up, because I really believe if I can get my message out about me and him, the truth, not his fake messages that he ran for the $100 million, but the truth, will make up that 1 point relatively easily, along with Wesley Hunt's votes moving my way.
They're going to throw everything they have at us. They're going to call me a radical leftist.
Our trans community needs abortion care too.
God is non-binary.
Modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than 2 biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
Prison is violence. It's hard to imagine a world without prison. Just because it's hard to imagine doesn't mean you shouldn't.
It's a great question. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't weigh in on whether or not Tim Walz will face criminal charges. But I can tell you, if the Ayatollah of Iran is having the worst week in the world, Tim Walz is probably having the second worst week because he was proverbially pantsed in front of the country today. It's embarrassing, and rightfully so. If you thought his performance in the vice presidential debate in 2024 was bad, today was a sequel equally as comical in terms of how incompetent can one public official be. We've been reporting for some time that Tim Walz didn't just look the other way. He took active steps to try to defang what little levels of accountability did exist in Minnesota. He tried to stop the creation of an independent investigator general outfit that would have been able to have criminal charging capacity. So Tim Walz, unfortunately, owns this issue, and it's not exactly the kind of thing you're proud to take home.
The president has fired Kristi Noem. Good riddance. But the problems at this agency, at ICE, transcend any one person. The rot is deep. The president has to end the violence and rein in ICE.
What would you need to confirm Senator Mullen to this position? Do you need assurances
This
on
is
immigration?
a problem of policy, not personnel. The rot is deep. No one person can straighten this up until the president changes the whole agency, stops the violence, and reins in ICE.
What do you think about his selection of Senator Mullen to lead this agency?
I told you, this is not an issue of personnel. It's an issue of policy. The rot is way deep down. It transcends any one individual.
Intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire. The president gave us another task: to raise or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress. This is going to take some time, but our forces are well supplied, as the secretary said, and we are absolutely ready to prosecute this mission decisively. Our combined joint forces have relentlessly destroyed Iran's air defenses over the past few days, and they've continued hunting for more systems to kill. Our air defenders are operating at the very top of their game. I couldn't be prouder, shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the region, in many cases, providing the most integrated air defense network in Middle East history. We are fighting to win.
The highest poverty rate, tied with Louisiana, the highest unemployment, and as Nick Kristof of the New York Times recently wrote, Mississippi schools outperform California schools, especially for poor kids. Now, people see that or hear that or read that, and they're like, no thanks, California. No thanks, Gavin Newsom. We're good.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Thursday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good. As always, be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Let me say it to everybody in the chat. Let me see here. JGCK is on. Salty Gonads is on. Guitar Glenn is on. Greg 9 Mon is on. Mike Griffith is on. Bud 64 is on. Mr. Cool Dude is on. Auntie Mama is on. Snag Dog's on. 23 Justin Blake is on. Jules 21 Hours is on. Agravane is on. General Plowman is on. Skunk 71 is on. Captain Cliff is on. Big Scott 1 is on. Let me see here. Ones I haven't seen yet. USA Abby Girl is on. Laura Jean Lynn is on. USA 1 Mike is on. K4 VMS is on. Richard Perry is on. Golfmaster 1 is on. Ever Eden is on. Graffiti Bug is on. Scrolling down. Veronica 18201 is on. Supergirl is on. Chemical Toilet is on. Deb Pal Fitty is on. Sheila K is on. Ever Eden is on. Scrolling down. Let me see. Serene Pickle is on. TJ T1 is on. Peg McGroin is on. Hefner is on. LA 106 Times is on. Let me see. Arcadia Angel is on. Uncle Wally is on. Biggie 926 is on. Scrolling down. Snag Dog is on. Scrolling down. Let me see. Anybody I haven't seen yet here? Still going. Conservative Warrior is on. Spoken 007 is on. Nick Glenn is on. Scrolling down. Let me see. Anybody I haven't seen yet? Scrolling quick. Let me see. CA 1960 is on. Kentucky Lady is on. Those Jesus People is on. Let me grab one or two more. Riffadoda is on. Let me see if I can catch any more I haven't seen yet. Scrolling down. Kansas Law Dog is on. That's a good way to stop. So here we go. All right. So let's open up with this. Go ahead, Aaron. We'll open up with your thing. So I didn't even know this had happened. And by the way, I'm sorry that I missed the entire Dan Crenshaw. Lost. thing. Now that didn't pop up on I was all focused on the other two races. And Dan Crenshaw, the absolute rhino turncoat that he is. And I actually meant, I'm going to have to do it as a tribute to him for the other SEAL team member who looked for Dan Crenshaw to help him in a, what's it called? Rules of engagement, rules of engagement, ROE, thank you. ROE situation, and called for Dan Crenshaw to help him and said Dan Crenshaw literally lobbied against him. And it was a clear ROE righteous shoot. Absolutely. I'll play the video for you. It's long, but I got to play it for you because Dan Crenshaw is just a louse of a human being. Absolute war hero, though. Again, it's the dichotomy of human beings. You've got to get it. You've got to understand. Aaron, give me a little Trump.
You got to understand.
You got to understand because this is what we're dealing with Trump. It's the dichotomy of people. They have a really, we'll show the videos, with the songs, is it Ed Sheeran there? Is that the Ed Sheeran type songs? And people doing good things, handing a baseball to a kid and a hockey stick to a kid. Well, that same guy who hands a baseball to the kid might have beaten his wife later that night.
Yep.
All right, that's how people are. You just need to understand. You're like, Tom, that's awfully negative. How's it wrong? I mean, you all know it's true. And I'm not saying all of us have a wife beating side to us, but we all have a carnal side to us, a sinful mindset side to all of us. So, and believe me, I know, because when you want to be a cop, they send you through this rigorous background, and they send you through. You have to take the polygraph, the lie detector test. Ooh, you got to confess everything, baby, everything. You're like, everything. Look at me now. Everything. Yeah. Everything. So you want to be a cop, make sure you're okay with confessing everything to a complete stranger who you've never met before in your life in a room. And I'm talking about everything. Every little crime you committed, every little sexual thing, everything. Hello. Yep. So anyway, that's the nature of humanity. People are a mixed bag. They're a mixed bag. They really are. And you just have to understand that. And Dan Crenshaw is the same way. War hero and then complete turncoat louse on Capitol Hill. Everyone thought, listen, they were grooming him for president, baby. They were grooming him to be president. And he just absolutely crapped the bed. And he got freaking trounced. He didn't lose this is a 4-time, I believe, incumbent. I think this is his 4th election. And he got trounced, man. Absolutely trounced. But anyway, so here's another, this is Trump for you. This is how Trump is acting right now. And it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of dealing with humanity. Doesn't mean you either have to be pro-Trump, anti-Trump, black-pilled, red-pilled, or white-pilled. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means you have to deal with people like I deal with Israel, like I deal with Canada, like I deal with the Biden administration, like I deal with the Trump administration. Whatever's true is true. So here it is. Donald J. Trump put this out today, and boy, there was a hailstorm after this, okay? Because he's in enough trouble right now, and MAGA is shrinking. I'll show you the statistics in a minute. MAGA is shrinking. Kristi Noem's fired, all those different things. So here we have the Save America Act. Trump comes out. All voters must show voter ID. Absolutely perfect. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. Absolutely perfect. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, and travel. No men and women's sports. Now we're perfect, 1 through 4.
Yep.
But here's the problem. Suddenly, what's up with this? No transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express written approval of the parents. Now, who got in there? Is that Susie Wiles? Who got in there? Who changed this? Because later on, of course, there's this hailstorm, but Trump before it's outlawed. There was no without the express written approval of these absolutely Munchausen parents, Munchausen by proxy parents. Suddenly it's okay for these absolutely deranged grooming parents. I mean, we've played the videos. I need to dedicate an entire show to it. We've played the videos of these parents talking their children into being gay transgender mutants, just talking their kids into it. And now Trump suddenly, without the express written approval of the parents, what's up with that crap? What's up with that? Just like he put out the legislation about anti-Semitic speech until there was a hailstorm. What's going on? Why does Trump list into absolute absurdity and totalitarianism in 2 seconds? So anyway, so there's a giant hailstorm after this. So then what happened later? Aaron, you got the next one? Here, so suddenly this appears. This is not what I voted for.
No.
This is not what I voted for. That, you know what? You come out and everybody comes out against it because this is Trump doing a trial balloon. Does anybody want that? Did you vote for that? That a 14-year-old or a 9-year-old A 9-year-old could take puberty blockers with the express written consent of a parent. Did you vote for that? I didn't vote for that. Because we know these parents, okay? I spent 25 years in law enforcement. I know parents. And a lot of them are absolutely worthless. You cannot even if somebody wants to lop off their penises, testicles, or breast, they can do it post-18. This shouldn't be left up to these absolute lunatic leftist white women. You saw them, Renee Good and the rest of them. You want Renee Good deciding? Renee Good was allowing her lesbian partner to put out cigarettes on her kids until 2 out of 3 of her kids were taken from her. And we want Renee Good to give express written consent to have her kids' penises and testicles lopped off. Is that what we're looking for? Just another. And again, if you're going to do it, then stick with it. Don't do it. And then you get a lot of negative feedback and then take it back 4 hours later. Not a good look. And we're going to go like this with Trump tonight. It's going to be up and down with Trump tonight because that's where he is right now. All right, so let's go to Kristi Noem. Nick Sortor video. Let's set it up. It's official. Kristi Noem is out at DHS, being replaced by Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. Play for me.
Breaking news, and this comes a day after a difficult couple of days on Capitol Hill in both the House and the Senate for Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary. She is being replaced. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is now going to take over her job. The president making the announcement on Truth Social just a short time ago. He writes, quote, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st of this year. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that they're announcing on Saturday at Doral in Florida. The president says, "I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland." So this comes amid reports that the president was none too pleased about the advertising campaign money that came to light during these hearings, Sandra. And so just in the last 24 hours, we've heard a lot of rumors that Mark Wayne Mullen may be tapped for DHS, and now it appears the president has made that decision, and that's going to happen at the end of the month.
All right, so there we go. So scalp for the left, they got Kristi Noem. But here's the problem, and we're going to go over this. There's numerous problems here. Problems for her. One of the major problems is that when you're asked on Capitol Hill, are you having a sexual relationship with Corey Lewandowski, a married man, and you don't answer? Anybody who's white pilled for Trump, which you mean, when I mean white pill, I don't know if that's part of this audience or not, but if you are, I love you. You voted for Trump, I love you, okay? But the thing is, if you're white pilled for Trump, that means that you think everything that Trump does is part of a 5D chess scenario. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem, is that if you are on Capitol Hill and you're asked a question, and it's a yes or no question, you ought to be able to answer that yes or no. Mm-hmm. Now, I know sometimes how it's framed is one thing, but I watched, okay, and by more than one congressman or woman, I can't remember, there was 2 different ones that asked her the same question. Are you in the midst of, or have you ever had a sexual relationship with Corey Lewandowski, one of her advisors? It's a very easy question, isn't it? And what it was is this constant obfuscation, and this rumor's been going around for a long time. You know why the rumor's going around? It's probably because it's true. Okay, I mean, there's usually obvious signs that these things are going on. Okay, like whatever. I don't know if I can't name any because I don't know what they are. I just blew it off because, in all honesty, even though it's sin, and they'll pay for it at judgment. But I'm just saying that I don't really care as long as you are actually deporting people, which she wasn't doing a great job doing either. Okay, but that's partially because of Trump. But anyway. So you need to answer the question. She wouldn't. She was always obfuscating, going, "I can't believe this is being asked in this forum. I can't believe we're getting into these salacious stories that are being put out by leftist newspapers and media sources." Answer the question. It's very easy. No, absolutely not. Thank you. It's not hard. Okay, I mean, but she wouldn't answer it. And what do you look like? So now she's been dispatched, and boy, this is a kick in the nads if she had nads. I mean, you're going to be Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Well, I don't even know what the pissant that is. I mean, in all honesty, this is the first I've ever heard of it. I didn't even look into it because I didn't have time, but I still haven't heard an explanation. And I can't remember who it was that was talking. It was another major conservative media source, and they had no idea what it was either. Shield of the Americas. I have no idea. Some of you probably know by now, and I should have looked it up before the show. But honestly, I didn't have time. But that's literally like being put on the short bus to the dum-dum school. And that's exactly what's happened. So anyway, all right, so we're just going to keep laying this out, and then we'll get into the various problems here. Eric Doherty video. Oh, Aaron, side by side. I need that Mark Wayne Mullet. Okay, just so you know, here's our replacement. Getting another guy that's sponsored by AIPAC, gotten $400,000 from him. And it's just coincidental. It's just coincidental that we're in an Iranian war. By the way, Kristi Noem's got nothing from AIPAC. Mm-hmm. Oh, but she's gone. Elon Musk got nothing from AIPAC. He's gone. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's all coincidental. Right. Israel's running us or anything. Trump just got $200 million, literally in the last campaign. $200 million from Miriam Adelson. But that's just, that wouldn't buy anything, favors or anything.
Come on,
I'm sorry. I don't, Tom, you're an anti-Semite. No, I'm just a realist. I don't want another country, even if it's the Holy Land, run in America. Okay. I don't. All right. And the thing is, I'm not mocking the traditional sites and all of those things, but you know what? They're just dirt. And man-made structures, okay, or what? That's what it is. If you really want to get into Jesus, then get into the Holy Ghost, because He's the one who's here. Jesus sits at the right hand of the throne of God. God sits on the throne. Holy Ghost is in the room. So get into the Holy Ghost instead of is this life-changing to go and visit it was just life-changing to go and visit Israel. How did it change your life? Because I knew you before, and I knew you. And by the way, I've known hundreds of Christians who visited Israel, and they all say the same thing. Aaron's laughing because Aaron has spent his entire life in the evangelical church, and I've spent from 18 to 57. So we've really about the same amount of time in the evangelical church, about 30 years, both of us. And I've heard it a million times, okay? And you know how many lives I've seen changed by visiting Israel? None.
Forever changed.
I've just forever changed. When I went there and I walked on the Mount of Olives. Okay, why don't you mount tithing? I'm just telling you, it doesn't work. You want God, you have to communicate to God, not get on a flight to Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just telling you. But anyway, that's Mark Wayne Mullen. So he's going to be a hook, line, and sinker into the pro-Israel movement. And again, just be pro-Israel, do whatever they want to do, because he's how he's gotten paid. This is part of the reason why he's gotten elected. Spent by the pro-Israel lobby and their mega donors. PAC's $165,000. Bunders $244,000 for Mark Wayne Mullen, who says some great things, by the way. I'm not casting him aside completely, but it's just kind of weird now that everybody but Thomas Massey now has an AIPAC handler. 535 on Capitol Hill and 534 have an AIPAC handler. Kind of weird. And then we're in another war. Here we are again. We're getting these updates about us blowing up ships and stuff. And Tom, I thought you were talking about Kristi Noem. I know. This is the podcast. I can't change. I had some woman come in to meet with me at the church, and she wanted me to be nicer. And I said, no. I just told her to her face, no, I'm not going to be nicer. I'm not changing. Have a great Sunday. I said this exact quote: do what you will with the church.
See you next week.
See you. I don't care. I haven't seen her since. And you know what? I'm thrilled. Absolutely. The church just got better. But anyway, we just need to know. We need to know the money that's behind it. 534. It's a little less than that because people have left, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was not sponsored by AIPAC. She's gone, so we're missing some Congress members. But we just have to be honest about, here we are, we're getting these, it's very reminiscent for me back when I was in college and we were getting from the first, what was it? I can't remember. It was Desert Shield and then Desert Storm and then whatever. And we were getting the daily, those of you that remember, in the late, early 90s, I'm talking about like 1990, whenever it was the first Gulf War, where we went in and took Kuwait back. We'd get the daily, gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of I can't remember. But anyway, remember the general, whatever his name was, I can't remember. But anyway, we get the daily updates to show us all these videos, remember, of us blowing up stuff. And I'm like, man. Schwarzkopf, you're the man, Aaron. General Schwarzkopf. Every night he'd come up and he'd give us the updates, and we'd see, our at the time like F-14s blowing up stuff, and our bombers blowing up stuff, and our A-10 attack warhogs blowing up stuff, and our heat-seeking missiles, and the Iraqis thought they could sleep in their tanks at night. No. You have the Apaches come in and blow all them up at night because they were fighting Iran. They were fighting Iran for 20 years, which was a CIA-backed war instigated by the CIA. But I digress once again. And then once Saddam Hussein decided not to cooperate with the CIA, we went to war with Iraq.
Yeah.
And at the time, who was president? Herbert Walker Bush from the CIA. But I mean, once again, Aaron, it wouldn't, it's all coincidence once again.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we get those updates, and now we're getting those same updates. And it's man, nothing's changed. Because here we are again. And I didn't vote for that.
Nope.
And people are like, well, what about all the, and I'm going to show you the positive stuff. I've got, here's, I think it's this one. No, it's the next, I'll get to it. I'm going to show you the positive stuff. There's a lot of positive things that happen as a result of this war, but we still shouldn't be in it. All right, so anyway, back here. So Mark Wayne Mullen, brought to you by AIPAC, is now the DHS director. Eric Doherty video just in. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen says it's very humbling. Play for me.
For me, I'm going to be laser focused on getting that done.
Senator, I just have a really quick question. What was your first reaction to just the news that you were nominated for this position, just amidst everything that's happening?
Humbling, because I had to call my dad, and because it happened quick, right? I had to call my wife and call my dad both, and it's just pretty humbling when you start thinking about it. A little kid from Westville, Oklahoma, gets to serve in the president's cabinet. That's pretty neat. So thank you, guys. How did you find out?
So Mark Wayne Mullen is in. Let's go right to the next one, Will. Red Wave Press, Fox News, Jackie Hendrick. I got a pretty pointed quote from someone familiar with President Trump thinking the decision to fire Kristi Noem. Oh, I'm sorry. She was reassigned to Special Envoy to Shield of the Americas. So that's like being sent to the Gulag Archipelago. It was a combination of her many unfortunate leadership failures. This is from an insider. From Minnesota to the ad campaign to the allegations of an affair. Play it for me.
Yeah, I've been trying to get information from officials on the president's thinking here and got a pretty pointed quote from someone familiar with his thinking and this decision. Quote, "It was a combination of her many unfortunate leadership failures, from Minnesota to the ad campaign to allegations of an affair." So it sounds like all of that reporting in the last several weeks that the president was uncomfortable with not only how she handled public statements after the ICE deportation campaign cost 2 people their lives in Minnesota. Also, this ad campaign that was, cost $220 million, featured her on horseback at Mount Rushmore, and she claimed under questioning in Senate hearings this week that the president had authorized that. Apparently, he didn't. And then also the rumored affair with her advisor, Corey Lewandowski, who is also married. All of those things together apparently were the tipping point for the president on the need to move on. Again, worth noting that this is going to be a tough time to get somebody else confirmed right now in the Senate. It's an unusual time to try to shake up your cabinet, before the midterms. The sort of chatter had been that he was likely to keep most of his people in place, at least through November. But it sounds like this week's questioning and her responses in public might have been what did her in, because the strong phrasing there, her many unfortunate leadership failures, really says that the president was unhappy with her.
All right, so I don't know specifically what the unfortunate leadership failures were in Minnesota. I don't know, because I don't know how much Trump is not enabling or holding back the deportations, or is it that that DHS is failing? It's hard to tell. It's hard, immediately once things went bad in Minnesota in the eyes of the left. I mean, again, why do you even care if things are bad in the eyes of the left? Again, because both shootings were completely justified. I was a cop for 25 years. I can flat out tell you both shootings were completely justified. Completely justified. So the only people that thought those shootings were bad, and that didn't even change the deportation polling. It still was 70% of Democrats want all illegals deported in the United States of America. It's 80-something% of independents, and high 80s of Republicans want everybody deported. Not criminal illegal aliens, people who commit subsequent crimes, but all illegals. So that polling never changed, even after the shooting of Saint Rene Good and Alex Preddy. I mean, none of it, these two saints who obviously weren't. But anyway, So none of it changed. So I don't know what the galactic leadership failure was because they removed everybody there. Brought kind of Tom Holman back. And what's the deal with Tom Holman even? That's a weird deal. He went from being absolutely the face of deportations and got into some sort of financial, had some sort of financial problem. He was falsely accused of, or I don't know if I hope it's falsely accused, but was accused of some sort of financial impropriety. And then he's gone into the background. And that's somebody we really didn't need him to be in the background. And I still wish Elon Musk was around. But I don't know what her failures were, because this from the inside. Unfortunate leadership failures from Minnesota. Because the only failure in Minnesota is that we're not still there with the National Guard, deporting more and more and more and more every day, and hiring more and more and more CBP agents, DHS agents, ICE agents, and everybody else to deport all of these illegals out of this country. And I mean all of them. So I don't know. Is it an administrative failure? Is it a DHS failure? And DHS has been defunded for the last month. They just got refunded today. They just finally passed a bill narrowly through the House to refund DHS. So congratulations, FEMA's back, Coast Guard's back, and DHS is back. And again, it's TSA at the airport, Aaron, is that right? Yep. TSA at the airport, they're back. So just so you know, I know they were there the whole time, but now these people are actually going to be paid. So anyway, Aaron, you got that?
I got
so
the
here's the commercial that it was $200 million for this commercial. Well, you don't think it cost $200 million to make, but obviously $200 million in ad buys after the production of the video. Play it for me.
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and...
Okay, I think we can all just agree that is the most cringe thing we've ever seen. So anyway, $200 million was spent on that. Now, couldn't we have built $200 million worth of border wall? I'm just curious. I mean, we're spending about $200 million a minute to bomb the living crap out of the mullahs right now. But I just think there would be a better, considering we're third again. But I want to congratulate Aaron and Will, and the 494 people that are watching right now. I want to congratulate you because your taxpayer dollars bought every single second of that video to put Kristi Noem on a horse at Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
I mean, again, you either are a conservative or you're not. And what got her in trouble is she said, I saw her testify to it. She said that Donald Trump approved it. He says he never did. So there's just a myriad of problems here. First of all, is she lying? Is he lying? Or is the administration so disorganized that nobody even knows who's approved what? All right, so none of this looks good at all. All right, so you really have the three things: the alleged failures that I don't know what they are, because I don't know if they are administration failures or DHS failures in Minnesota. That's what's been named. The alleged possible affair with Corey Lewandowski, which she refuses to answer any questions about. And then the $200 million ad that was made, because it was one ad, for $200 million. All right, that was made, and it's obviously to glorify oneself.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's part of my problem. And by the way, I was around some of this. I saw some of this. Aaron saw some of it because he was there with me when we were at I'm not going to name what it is because I don't want to badmouth it, but we were at a big conservative forum, so to speak. It's not really a convention, but like a tour. Mm-hmm. It was the Clay Clark thing. So anyway, it was the Clay Clark thing. I'm not nothing against Clay Clark. He was fine. But I'm just saying that I was around it. It's just a lot of people who are just simply grifting, if that's the right word. It is, right, Aaron?
Yep.
So it's grifting. People who latched on to MAGA to make money.
Yep.
And I don't think Kristi Noem was an excellent governor of South Dakota. It's not that. But once you get to where you're thinking, you know what? This is Marvel. This is DC Comics, and I'm a superhero. And now I'm going to try to merchandise myself. I'm going to try to propagandize myself into the next role. She obviously wants to be president. Okay, it gets ugly. And if you're going to spend $200 million on an early 2028 campaign ad, you need to raise that money yourself and it not be taxpayer paid, not a taxpayer paid commercial. It's hard to say it. Your commercial for your own self-aggrandizement doesn't need to be paid for by taxpayer revenue. So anyway, here's another one. Oh, Aaron just found out. Aaron, want that, Aaron. I want that. All right, Aaron found this for me. Special envoy. This is where she's at now. Dispatched to the Gulag Archipelago of the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, also referred to as the United States Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas. Okay. Anyway, is a newly created.
That's why it's funny.
Holy crap. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. It was, Aaron, what's the date today? Don't tell me it's March 5th.
Yeah, it's March 5th.
It was announced today.
Congratulations. Here's your new position.
Holy crap. It's a newly created diplomatic position in the U.S. Department of State announced today. Key priorities include combating drug cartels and narcotics trafficking, addressing illegal migration and transnational crime. She was just head of DHS. Enhancing regional cooperation with Latin America countries to bolster U.S. national security. She was just the head of DHS.
Yep.
Department of...
Ouchie.
I mean, yeah, this hurts. Like, this is a literal kick in the female nads. All right, here we go. Where am I at? Am I at Eric Doherty, Bill Malugin? All right, Eric Doherty video. Bill Malugin is reporting that President Trump called Senator John Kennedy, furious that Kristi Noem testified the president personally signed off on the $200 million ad that you just saw. Play for him.
Martha, had been brewing for a couple months. It started in Minneapolis with all of the bad headlines that were coming out there every day. It escalated when Secretary Noem went on TV and called Alex Preddy and Renee Good domestic terrorists. It escalated further when Tom Homan was brought in to essentially be the shot caller there, and Noem and Greg Bovino were essentially sidelined. But then it hit a snowball effect this week with her testimony here on the Hill. And we just got some clarity as to what happened with Senator John Kennedy and Noem and the White House earlier this week. Senator Kennedy just gaggled with reporters here at the Hill a short time ago, and he gave us a bigger picture look at this. So he said ahead of that hearing, he had heard about this $200 million ad buy that DHS and Secretary Noem did. Of course, we've seen the ads where she's on horseback and she's featured heavily. There were some allegations that maybe there was some cronyism in those contracts. So Senator Kennedy said that he was offended by the size and scope of that contract. So he called up the White House and he said, we've got Noem on the Hill tomorrow. I would like to press her under oath and ask her about this contract. And he said the White House essentially didn't oppose it, said go ahead. So then we see that hearing on Tuesday where he pressed her about the contract directly, and he asked her repeatedly, did President Trump personally approve of this contract to spend $200 million on this ad contract? And Kristi Noem replied under oath that yes, he did. Well, President Trump is now saying that that is not true. And just a short time ago, Senator Kennedy gave us a quote. He says President Trump called him after that hearing, after he saw Noem's testimony, and that President Trump was, quote, mad as a murder hornet, and said that he never approved that contract and didn't even know about it. I'm going to read a quote that Senator Kennedy just told us a short time ago, how he interpreted her testimony. He said, quote, I heard the secretary say that she went to the president and said, I propose to spend $250 million on TV ads in which I am the star. And the president thought that was a swell idea. That's what I heard the secretary say. Her version of the truth and the president's version of the truth are decidedly different. So, Martha, it sounds like, everything started with Minnesota, with Minneapolis, with all the bad headlines, that kind of planted the seeds, and then everything really escalated this week in terms of her testimony here on the Hill. What she said under oath and what President Trump is now saying are two entirely different things. And what Senator Kennedy is saying, what President Trump is saying, is that no, he didn't know about that contract, nor would he have ever approved it or signed off on it. And that was Senator Kennedy's point. He was trying to pin her down on that with the testimony. So you combine all this together, Minnesota, the allegations of an affair with Corey Lewandowski, the testimony on the Hill, it all just kind of boiled over into a very sudden replacement of Kristi Noem with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, who, again, sounded like he was pretty surprised by this. We just talked to him on the Capitol steps less than an hour ago. He said he basically found out when the
All right, so you got it. The gist of it is you got three problems: the Minnesota performance, the Corey Lewandowski deal, and the $200 million ad caused Kristi Noem to get fired and become the special envoy to the Shield of the Americas, which was created today. So anyway, it's freaking funny. I mean, it's funny. I mean, hey, we got a job for you. Can we think of anything?
Yeah.
Can we think of anything for Kristi?
I got something.
I got something. Special envoy to Greenland. Whatever. All right. So I titled this next section of the show "Winning" because it's dedicated to Aaron. And Aaron's on to say, "Aren't you glad that we won?" All right, put up the next one for me. So here we go. Polymarket. U.S. House votes. Aren't you glad we won? Because there had to be a whole lot of Republicans to get to 357. 357 to 65 to block the release of congressional sexual misconduct reports. By the way, why do they even have the right to block the reports of their own sexual misconduct? How is it that they even have the right to block it? I mean, they remember, these are the idiots that voted in. I know it's a whole different class of people now, but some remnants that voted in Obamacare and then gave themselves gold-plated insurance outside of Obamacare. Remember that? And now they have the right. They give themselves raises, which they do all the time, which they just did in Virginia for the whole House, the whole Senate. I believe maybe even the governor too. They all got raises. They can give themselves raises, and they can decide. Remember, I thought isn't this called the People's House, or am I missing it? It's called the People's House, right? So how in the world does the People's House have absolutely no accountability to the people? Because you know what? I want to see the sexual misconduct reports. And by the way, this was, I'm trying to remember who pushed it forward. Oh my gosh. Nancy Mace.
Yeah.
Nancy Mace pushed this forward. And I am, hit or miss with Nancy Mace. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I can't stand her. But I mean, 350, again, there's a few people missing, but for all intents and purposes, 435 members of the House. 357 members out of 435 voted to not release sexual misconduct records out of Congress. These are congressmen and women committing either sex crimes, sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, and they're refusing to release the reports. And I want to just congratulate Will again, who fought for our country, Aaron, and me, and all 511 people that are watching right now. You and I actually pay for them keeping these records sequestered from us. You and I pay for them to hide this from us. You and I pay for their attorneys to hide this from us. You and I are paying for this. The entire infrastructure of establishment Washington, D.C. needs to come down. Listen to this. Go next for me. The older millennial video titled 357 to 65. Play it for me.
Here's 357 members of Congress that no longer deserve your vote. So Nancy Mace put forward a bill that would have released all sexual harassment and sexual misconduct reports from members of Congress. And 357 members of the House voted against it. It's amazing because at the same time, this man just went before Congress. Y'all know Tim Tebow, right? He just went before the Senate and begged them to pass the Renewed Hope Act of 2026, a bill aimed at helping protect children from sexual exploitation. Like, did you know that right now, 338,000 unique IP addresses in the U.S. access child exploitation material? That is the best PC way I can word that. Guys, read between the lines and understand what I'm talking about. That is 338,000 100,000 people viewing that type of material. The craziest part, it keeps getting worse. Like back in 2024, there were 57,000 unidentified child sexual abuse images that were still waiting to be evaluated. This year, that number is up to 89,000, with roughly 1/3 of them being here in the U.S. Look, I know that we've come to expect very little of our lawmakers. Like, we just expect Congress to not fucking do anything. But it is so hard watching them when they have the opportunity to protect vulnerable children that they're not even willing to vote. Here's what I ask any of you. Look up whether or not your member of Congress voted against this. And then look up whether or not your member of Congress wants to pass the Renewed Hope Act. If your congressman is one of the 357 people here, or one of the people that are against this, how about you take that as a sign that they no longer deserve your vote?
Congresswoman, where do we stand on the investigation into Ilhan Omar? Obviously, there's some, questions regarding her citizenship. She's been referred to the Ethics Committee. Can we trust the Ethics Committee to actually be ethical and do the right thing?
Well, what's happened so far? Like, really, I think the remark is always let the process play out, right? That's what they always say, and nothing never happens. I tried to subpoena her immigration records, her husband's immigration records, and it was Republicans that killed my motion.
Yeah, and what's going on with that? Do you have any more insight you can share on that front?
As far as I know, nothing's going on, and nothing will go on. And that's Congress for you, because both sides protect the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got those two stories confused. I don't know if she actually forwarded the legislation to try to release. It might be her. I don't know. I don't remember who it was that tried to forward the release of the sexual misconduct records out of Congress. I hear Aaron typing away. He'll probably find it. But anyway, so that's one. So that's who shot down the release of the release of the sexual misconduct records out of Congress. Republicans. Again, the numbers. 357 to 65. That's a whole crap ton of Republicans voting against releasing their own sexual misconduct records. While you and I, Aaron, I hate to take you away from what you're doing, but I'll need the debt clock.
Yep.
While Aaron found this for me, and we've covered this before, you and I also, just so you know, we pay them to sequester their own sexual misconduct records. We pay them to keep them classified. All right? We just pay. I mean, think of all these people all making $174,000 plus a year. We paid them all day today, all day tomorrow, all week, all year, and they don't even work most of the year. We pay them, and what we're paying them to do is classify their own sexual misconduct. And you and I also, via our taxpayer revenues, our taxpayer dollars, fund their $18 million slush fund, sexual misconduct slush fund, for them to pay for attorneys to defeat their sexual misconduct allegations against them. You're like, Tom, this can't be real. It is real. It's real. And this is Republicans and Democrats, the two heads of the same snake. It is real. You and I actually pay them. We pay for their $18 million slush fund so that they can hire attorneys against their sexual accusers. Aren't you supposed to pay for that yourself? Truly unbelievable. And then the other story is Nancy Mace that we just played. This is it's a Texas video from the actual account Texas on Twitter. When Nancy Mace is asked what happened to the investigation into Ilhan Omar's immigration issue. Aaron, can you find all that Cash Patel's doing on that?
Let me see.
Oh, wait, no, DHS.
Okay.
Kristi Noem. Anything?
Nothing.
Okay, I mean, because I guess it would be an immigration case, CBP case, the ICE case, whatever it may be. So she just simply, so anyway, here's what she says. Nancy Mace is asked what happened to she's asked by Lindell TV, what happened to the investigation into Ilhan Omar's immigration issues? I mean, and again, I could elaborate on this for 30 minutes. Oh, she married her brother. That is just the superficial part of it all. There's way more to it than that. That's the fraud that she committed that should get her denaturalized and deported for immigration fraud. But she's not even legal herself because she claims that she came in to citizenship via her father because of our ridiculous chain migration, idiotic, stupid rules put forth by Democrats and bent over for by Republicans. that whenever you naturalize a citizen, when you allow somebody to become a naturalized citizen in the United States of America, a legal migrant, now and become a citizen, all of their children also become citizens. All their minor children, not their adults, their minor children become citizens. So she claims that when her father, and by the way, all of these dates, I didn't mean to get into this, but I'm going to have to. I can't help it. All of these dates are etched in stone in records in Washington, immigration records in Washington, D.C. Under what was INS. Remember when it was INS and Department of Homeland Security? These are all records. They're all right there. You can look up Ilhan Omar's father's immigration records. When he became a citizen, she was no longer a minor. And she has claimed her entire life that she became a citizen automatically when her father became a citizen because she was a minor child. It's not even close. She had been an 18 for almost a year when he became a citizen. And then she took down her various dates that allude to that off of all of Wikipedia and off of all of her social media. This is not a hard thing to do. If you were to let loose someone like Aaron for 5 minutes in DHS, you would be able to prosecute her. Just pull it up. I don't know if you can ever hear it, but Aaron typing away. Find this stuff. He'd find it. None of this is hard. She's not even a legal immigrant, folks. She has lied. It's all fraud. And all Nancy Mace just said, when asked what happened to her investigation into Ilhan Omar's immigration issues, she informed the reporter that Republicans, Aaron, who? Republicans, not Democrats. You think Democrats are your enemy. They are. But the worst one, I felt compelled to write and urge you to contend for the faith that was once for all entrusted to God's holy people. For certain individuals whose condemnation was written about long ago have secretly slipped in among you. They are ungodly people who pervert the grace of God into a license for immorality and deny Jesus Christ, our only sovereign and Lord. Jude 3 and 4. You know what? You have one thing. You have your enemies without, and you can see them, and you know what they do, and you know what to expect. It's the enemies within that are the real problem. I mean, think about it. What hurts you the most? The enemy within your own house or the enemy without? So Republicans killed it, just like Republicans are killing the Save America Act because they're not conservatives. They are leftist. John Thune is a leftist. Mitch McConnell is a leftist. Joni Ernst is a leftist. They are leftist. Susie Wiles is a leftist. That's what they are. That's why you see Trump do stupid things, because he's being advised to do stupid things, but he's still a grown man. He should make the decisions himself. And he also does great things. But anyway, so Republicans killed her motion, not Democrats. I'm sure they were there and voted against it. But who has, correct me if I'm wrong, who has the majority, guys?
That would be the Republicans.
The Republicans have the majority, right?
Yep.
So in every committee, they can outvote all Democrats. So it has to be Republicans that kill subpoenas. Republicans killed her motion to subpoena the immigration records of Ilhan Omar and her brother. Weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird that no matter who's in power, we still lop onto our national debt every single year, $2 trillion? No matter who's in charge. Isn't it amazing how that works? Because we are all under the illusion that we have a political party up there fighting for us. And it's birthing a very fervent anti-Trump Republican movement. And they're not necessarily, they're Republicans. And people are fed up. I'm not quite there yet, but people are freaking fed up. They are fed up. They didn't vote for this. Where's the border? Here we are, a year and 2 months into the second administration. Border wall hasn't grown an inch. They hadn't grown an inch. We're spending $1 billion a day in Iran. How many of you have ever been threatened by Iran? Anybody?
No.
Okay, what are they going to do? But anyway. Just so you know, that's who killed that bill. All right, and I've entitled the section of the show, Winning. Go to the next one for me. I don't even know where I'm at. Oh, here we are. Oh, Trump DOJ abandons investigation into Joe Biden's auto pen use after failing to find an applicable criminal statute. That's not correct. Aaron, can you find me all the efforts that Kash Patel and the FBI
put into this? Let me see.
Here, let's see.
None.
None. Okay, I just want to make sure because there's obvious criminality here.
Yeah.
There's no question. Bring Joe Biden. Why has he not been subpoenaed? Why has the FBI not raided his house? Tom, we don't do that. We're Republicans. Okay, you brought your fists to a tank fight. standing out in front of a bunch of tanks like this, M1A1s. If they raid Mar-a-Lago, then wherever he lives in Delaware, that Rehoboth Beach, that's where that needs to be raided. Because he obviously committed crimes. And if you're going to raid Donald Trump, then we need to raid them. And that is just the way that it is. Every single Democratic Party president, if we're in the majority, must be impeached. That is the way that it is. And they have to have their houses raided too. So anyway, there's that is huge, folks. Again, I just bring this up, and I'm not going to yell about it tonight. At least I hope I don't. Can anybody even tell me where Kash Patel is? I mean, last I saw Kash Patel, he was with the American hockey team drinking beer.
Yeah.
That's the last I saw Kash Patel. Could anybody tell me what poignant investigations are going on? You got Bongino out. What a galactic disappointment he is. Back to his podcast espousing the virtues of the Trump administration and the DOJ. Explain to me what you ever accomplished, Dan. What did you guys actually do? I mean, nobody's going to prison. There aren't. Kristi Noem said it. Will said it. We're watching the Kristi Noem $200 million video commercial. He said there's going to be ramifications. There's going to be repercussions for people who break the law. Will's like, what are they exactly? There aren't any. I mean, tell me right now what major investigation I need to come up with a list so I don't have to try to think of them on air of all of the injustices over the 6 years of 15 days to flatten the curve. I mean, there's a lot of injustices right there. Many, many crimes committed by the Biden administration, many crimes committed by the CDC, many, many crimes committed by the COVID pimps and whores, many, many other crimes outside of COVID, and nothing's being done. Not one thing. All right, let's go to the next one. Laura Loomer video. And I know Laura Loomer's out for rocker half the time, but it's a good video. Actually, you can just, well, I don't know if they actually.
He talks.
He does talk.
Yeah.
It's not much. I'll play it for like 10 or 15 seconds. Laura Loomer video. He's side by side, Aaron, so that gives us some context. This is the U.S. Air Force has placed Shariful M. Khan. Now, everyone heard what I just said. Will, you just heard this as a military man. The United States Air Force has placed Shariful M. Khan in charge of the Golden Dome for America. That's our missile defense. Our next generation missile defense shield is being designed and built under the supervision of a Bangladeshi Muslim. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Isn't it? On page 9 of his School of Advanced Air and Space Studies thesis, Khan said that words matter. So what did the Brigadier General mean when he called his oath of office perfunctory? That's what he called, I swear my oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the one that Will took, I took even as a deputy sheriff. Definition of perfunctory, carried out with a minimum of effort or reflection. That's what he called his oath. His oath is to be carried out with a minimum of effort or reflection. You don't even have to play it, Aaron. I just want everybody to know. I just wanted to congratulate the Trump administration for this awesome appointment. Why did we vote for Trump? Did you vote for Trump so that we could have a Bangladeshi Muslim in charge of our missile defense? Ask Shariful, that's his name, Khan, that's a proper last name. Ask him point blank on a lie detector, who do you love more? Muhammad or the United States of America? Ask him point blank, who would you choose? A Muslim country or the United States? Ask him point blank. And you know what the answers would be. Speaking of Muslim countries, let's go to Iran for a couple minutes. Trader Jill video. Donald Trump has achieved the impossible. He has troops in Iran, so now we have U.S.-sponsored Kurd troops doing a ground invasion. How many of you think that's a great idea?
Not at all.
No. Okay, I'm just curious. Okay. Donald Trump has achieved the impossible. He has troops in Iran. This is somebody for the war. So I'm playing. It's a Fox News post. This is from a pro-Trump in Iran account. He has troops in Iran, and they're not Americans or from the Western nation. How many of you honestly believe there's no embedded troops in the Kurds?
No.
Everybody does know. I hope that everybody knows this. 547 people that are watching right now. I hope that you know one of the most advanced military operations, actually military corps on the planet, is the CIA military. What are you talking about, Tom? The CIA picks the best out of Delta, the best out of SEALs, the best out of Green Berets, the best out of the Marine Corps, And they put together their own military. That's a fact. Pull it up. It's absolute fact. And how many of them are embedded with the Kurds right now?
Yeah.
And then who's supporting the Kurds? The ground troops. Did you vote for this? I didn't vote for it. And those of you listen, I want you to know something. And I mean this. I honestly mean this because I don't think we need to have a family faction. I don't think we need to have a schism here. You're like, I'm for the Iran war. Okay, and there's reasons to be for it. But we all know, and here's the thing, to give Trump an out too. Trump has always said that he wasn't going to let Iran get a nuke. So we have to be honest about all this stuff. He always said that. Okay, I don't think they're anywhere near getting a nuke. And we just eliminated their nuclear capabilities, according to him in, June of last year? So I don't think we need to be there. And Israel did start the offensive actions, and we joined in. That's a fact. And initially, Rubio and Vance came out and said that. And then, almost like Donald Trump's True Social post we opened up the show with, a couple hours later, Trump came out and said, no, they didn't. We started it, and Israel followed us. Okay. It's just not good. You know what? If you want to do it, do it. And I understand all of you that are standing with Trump and saying, you know what, this is a good thing. Because Khomeini being dead is a good thing. It is a good thing. But is it the right thing? Because we can do that anywhere in the world. We can say any sort of foreign dictator. You can say that about the leader of Brazil right now. Fraudulent election. Bolsonaro should be the president of, or whatever their title is, prime minister, whatever it is, in Brazil. He should be. But instead, you've got, what's his name, Luna?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, it was a fraudulent election brought to you by Dominion. But anyway, and they're trying to imprison or already have imprisoned Bolsonaro in and out of prison, whatever it is right now. Same thing has gone on with Marine Le Pen in France. So you can say whatever we want. I mean, how evil is Keir Starmer? But he speaks with a British accent, so he can't be evil. This is a man who covered up for hundreds of thousands of child rapes inside of his country for years as the leader of their CPS. Come on. I mean, that's a good, how is he better than Khomeini? I mean, can anybody say 13,000 speech arrests per year under Keir Starmer? How is he better than Khomeini? I would just love to know that. But anyway, and listen, everyone knows if you watch this podcast, everybody knows where I stand on Islam. I hate Islam. I don't hate Muslims. I hate Islam. I hate their faith. It's garbage. It's idolatry. It's lies. It's made up out of thin air. Not one of their Quran stories is actually true. Outside of Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old and consummating the relationship at 9, which they all justify. But anyway, so let's look in the last couple minutes here. We got to talk about Iran, obviously. Donald Trump has achieved the impossible. Iraqi Kurds have taken to the field and launched a ground offensive inside Iran. Play for me.
This just in, it's big. A U.S. official telling Fox thousands of Iraqi Kurds have launched a ground offensive in Iran. Decimated, destroyed, defeated. All words the Pentagon used to describe Iran's various military forces on day 5 of Operation Epic Fury. Moments ago, President Trump touting its success.
So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead. And it's an amazing thing that's taking place. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. Their launchers are being wiped out. They're attacking their neighbors. They're attacking their, in some cases, allies, or not so long ago allies. And, you know, it's really a nation that was out of control, and they would have used it on us if we let them.
The Secretary of War says it's just the beginning.
We are just getting started. We are accelerating, not decelerating. Iran's capabilities are evaporating by the hour, while American strength grows fiercer, smarter, and utterly dominant. More bombers and more fighters are arriving just today. We can sustain this fight easily for as long as we need to.
The White House reporting more than 17,000 Americans have returned home safely from the Middle East and repeating the president's motivation for the operation.
This is a rogue terrorist regime that has been threatening the United States, our allies, and our people for 47 years. This is a president who has been remarkably consistent on this issue, that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. And the president tried peace through diplomacy, exhaustively and extensively. He and his team gave it their best go, and the president ultimately came to the determination of that peace was not a pursuable path. The Iranian regime, they want death, they want destruction, they want to kill Americans, and that's unacceptable to this president.
All right, so there you go. It goes on for a little while longer. But anyway, again, I say what I said last night. This is what we always do. And you can pick your Islamic faction, whether it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, back in the day, Mujahideen, whatever it is, you can pick it. It goes Shia, Shiite, Sunni, doesn't matter. Because what we always do is we go in, if you take Libya, for example, we take out Gaddafi, right? Hey! Now, again, this is the typical argument. Now, who took out Gaddafi? Remember, that was the infamous Hillary Clinton video. We came, we saw, he died, right?
Yep.
Okay. How's Libya doing now?
Just great.
Great, isn't it? Oh, it's a warlord torn. I think it's run by the Muslim Brotherhood. So you got Muslim Brotherhood, you got ISIS, you got Al-Qaeda. What we always do is we go and say it's Muslim Brotherhood runs it. We kill their leader, and we actually bring in Al-Qaeda Kurds. That's what's happening right now. Isn't that great? So you're going to take out the mullahs because you don't want a radical Muslim in charge of, then you're going to save all these people from Muslim totalitarianism, right? Am I missing anything here?
Nope.
So that's what you're doing because, agreed, Ali Khamenei, that was the currently dead leader, was a horrible person, absolutely horrible person. I got it. So Saddam Hussein, even though he's put in place by the CIA. But anyway, horrible person, deserved to die. I agree. However, is it really our job to do it? No, it would be the Iranian Persians that should be doing it. But anyway, so you're now going to replace I believe that they are Sunnis in Iran, if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't matter. You're now going to replace them with Kurdish Al-Qaeda forces. And then they're going to usher in what? A democracy? And they're going to be like the Kurds always are pro-America? No, they're not. Have you lost your mind? But this is what we always do. Who's now running Syria? It was run by ISIS. Now it's run by what? We spent 15 years overthrowing Mossad. Not Mossad. What's his name? The former prime minister of Mossad is the CIA of Israel. Assad.
Yeah. Yep.
We spent 15 years overthrowing his government. 15 years. Numerous American deaths. 15 years, right? So what did we get? So it was ISIS running their country. It was the ISIS factions all over the place. And then it was Assad's totalitarian Muslim monarchy running the country. And it was replaced by what? A current member of Al-Qaeda.
Awesome.
Who's now killing off all the Christians. Great. Aren't you glad that we did? Aren't you glad we won? Isn't that great? And that's exactly what's going on here. Aren't you glad we were in Vietnam? Why? Korea? Why? How's our economy in Vietnam doing? I mean, we were there. We lost 58,000 Americans in Vietnam. I'm assuming that's our 51st state, or we get something out of it. No. Nothing. Will risked his life in Iraq, throwing hate down, down on whatever Iraqi forces there were. He's an artillery officer. Why? How's all that oil we're getting out of Iraq? Oh, we get none. Isn't that great? We did get $8 or $9 trillion worth of debt out of it, though.
Right.
That's part of that debt you're saying. Remember, George W. Bush added $9 trillion right there by himself. What was it when George W. Bush took office? Less than $1 trillion. Yeah, 2000, less than $1 trillion. Now look where it is. George W. Bush, $9 trillion. Hussein Obama, $11 trillion. Trump in his first administration, $7 trillion. Joe Biden, somewhere between 10 and 12 billion. A trillion. So it's the same thing every time. We go in and we attack a Muslim monarchy and we replace it with a Muslim monarchy. Afghanistan. How long were we at war in Afghanistan? I mean, how many years? How many years? Decades. We're at war in Afghanistan. Americans were getting killed up to the moment that Donald Trump told them, if you kill another American, you're never going to have a peace deal. And that's why I love Trump. It's where he had the meeting with the heads of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, who now run Afghanistan. But again, so he meets them and says, you know what? Here's a photograph. Here's a satellite photograph of your home. If you don't stop killing Americans, we're going to take out your home. And that was the end of them killing off Americans. That's why I love Trump. And by the way, once again, I tell you, I hate this war, but I do love how he prosecutes it. He's doing a great job prosecuting it. He is. I'm not going to be a liar either way. That's true. We should never be in this war. It's just another one. What are we doing? We now have ground. We have Kurdish Al-Qaeda style. I don't know if they're Al-Qaeda or ISIS or whatever, but they're Muslims. They're Sunni or Shiite Muslims. And if they're on the ground and they take control of Iran, what do you have? You have another Muslim monarchy. Just like you have in Syria, just like you have in Lebanon, just like you have in Egypt, just like you have. We handed off Afghanistan to Al-Qaeda. I mean, all those years, we're in there, decade after decade after decade. Thousands of Americans died there. And what do we get? Nothing. We're doing the exact. How many of you honestly believe we're going to get any benefit? If you believe you're going to get one benefit here on the home front from this war in Iran, raise your hand.
No.
What are we going to get? Nothing. But we get to turn Iran and do another war-torn, warlord ruled over Muslim amalgam, which is what Israel wants. That's what Israel wants. Don't need to be fighting Israel's wars. They can do it on their own. We give them $4 billion a year. Let them do it on their own, which they don't need because per capita, they're way richer than we are. Here's a good little synopsis right here. Colin Rugg video. Matt Walsh directly addresses President Trump on a show. Play for me.
The mission of George Soros and his prosecutors is to spring barbarians loose so that Americans are slaughtered. It happened to Irina Zarutska. It happened to Stephanie Minter. It happened to the victims of the mass shooting in Austin, a 30-year-old man, a 19-year-old man, a 21-year-old woman. And it will continue to happen, whether or not we achieve our objectives in Iran, objectives that to this day still have not been fully articulated. As it stands, this is the status quo you're expected to accept. That we can terminate the supreme leader of Iran, despite all of his security and paranoia and power, but we can't deport Somali fraudsters in Minneapolis. We can't denaturalize scammers and grifters who openly declare for the world to see that they despise the United States and seek to destroy it. We can't get gangster thugs and illegal aliens like Kilmar Abrego Garcia out of the country without 10 different female judges, all of them with foreign last names, issuing an immediate nationwide injunction. We can't imprison the insurance executives who are ripping off Medicaid by sending massive payouts to fake autism treatment clinics and leering centers while keeping a cut for themselves, of course. None of that is possible, apparently. So we can eliminate a threat thousands of miles away, a threat that's supposedly urgent. But we can't do anything about the clear and obvious threats that are living in this country right now. Apparently, all it takes is some low testosterone schizophrenic weirdo fighting with Border Patrol while armed with a handgun, along with an unemployed lesbian extremist driving an SUV directly at a federal agent to completely derail immigration enforcement within our borders. Now, for the past several months, I've been told continuously that we can't actually do mass deportations, much less mass denaturalizations, because it's impractical, expensive, politically unpopular, risky. Deporting illegal immigrants who haven't committed additional crimes, who have no criminal record aside from being here illegally, is especially fraught, I'm told, we're all told. That was the argument we heard when Los Angeles burned and Trump had to send in the National Guard. It was the argument we heard when ICE was forced to flee Minneapolis. Maybe there's some truth to it. You know, maybe mass deportations and mass denaturalizations are impractical, expensive, politically unpopular, risky. I can't say for sure that a deportation operation targeting all illegal aliens, again, not just the criminal, not just the additional criminals, but all of them, I can't say that such an operation at the kind of scale we would need wouldn't result in massive backlash from the electorate. I think those fears are overblown, but maybe they aren't. Well, Mr. President, the war in Iran is also impractical, expensive, politically unpopular, and risky. Even if it all works out, even if in the end it was the right move, it still is all of those things. That in and of itself doesn't mean it's wrong. And I acknowledge that it's your call to make. In the end, you're the commander-in-chief after all. But if we're going to do something drastic and explosive and unpopular thousands of miles from home, why not do it here too?
That last point is exactly where I stand. If you're going to do something drastic and unpopular, do it here. There's plenty to be done here, like prosecuting criminal Democrats, like building a giant, beautiful border wall paid for by Mexico, deporting all the illegals out of this country, prosecuting Ilhan Omar, prosecuting Anthony Fauci, prosecuting Rochelle Walensky, and a myriad of other things that are horrendously unpopular. But Will said this, unpopular to who? If it's unpopular to your enemy, aren't you doing the exact right thing? So that's what we should be doing. But and a myriad of other things. But anyway, all right, 10:14, that's good. What do we got on the rant count tonight?
We've got 8.
8 rants. Okay, that's a lot. Good. You guys are bouncing
Richard
back
Perry,
after my
49,
abuse
donated
last night.
$10. Good evening, Pastor Tom and TLP team. Blessings from across the pond.
Wow, Richard Perry, at some point, let me know exactly. You probably have told me before, but I can't remember where exactly you're from. Blessings right back to you. Go to the next one for me.
Conservative Warrior 65 donated $5. I specialize in AI. Could have done the Noam ad for less than 100 a lol.
Yeah, that was bad. I mean, we already went over it ad nauseum, but man, $200 million. It didn't cost that much to make it, but it cost that much in ad buys.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, all you're doing is propagandizing yourself, and that was pathetic. I like Kristi Noem, but that was pathetic. Go to the next one for me.
Nated Dad 1 donated $50. Sorry I've been out this week. But
No
I'm
excuses,
back,
Nate Dad.
Great show, Pastor Tom.
We love you, Nate Dad. Give him a Trump. I love you, Aaron.
I love him.
There we go.
I love Nate Dad. One of the greatest.
One of the greatest. One of the best. Fabulous. Just a fabulous person. Go to the next for me.
Nated Dad 1 donated $20. One word can define why FBI is not doing their job. F. Satcher D. Statter. -- ampersand. Quote Biden.
Yeah, it's a pathetic state of affairs, man. I don't even know where Kash Patel is. Unbelievable. Go to the next one for me.
Johnny F62 donated $20. Bomb Muslims on the other side of the world while they take over the country you live in.
Amen, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. You're sitting there bombing the crap out of the mullahs, and we got epic cities being built in Texas. We have a major Muslim infiltration here. And I didn't play this video. I played it before the latest Iranian war. Because now this is number 2. And where are all those people back then that were for the first Iranian incursion? Oh, this is it. It's a precision surgical strike, and we're out. Well, and then you had all the people like Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes. They were all predicting we'd be back, and they almost predicted it to the day. Well, not to the day, to the month.
Yeah.
And here we are again. And they're saying that this could last for up to September now. Started off with a couple weeks. And then September, and then you're going to have to go, then you will have to get congressional approval, unless you actually stop for a week and then restart it again under the 60 to 90 day rule. But that right there is the greatest point. That was the most poignant, concise point. We're killing Muslims overseas when we should be deporting them from our own country. We're actually taking care of other people's Muslim problem while we ourselves are being infested with them. That'd be like me being infested with fleas and going over to Will's house and trying to take care of his flea problem. It's amazing. All right, go to the next one.
Jolts 21 Hours donated $10. Grok says my name funny. In this backwards world, only Jesus makes sense.
Yeah, man, that's the truth. I mean, that's the whole thing. There's really no solid hope in anything but Jesus. We need a spiritual revival in America. Go to the next one for me.
Robin Aroni donated $5. God bless Pastor Tom, TLP, and crew.
Oh, God bless you right back, Robin. I love you. People don't know the most important people in the world of pastors are the people, the people who give money. No, it's people who show up to church every Sunday. Love you, Robin Roney. Go to the next one for me.
Craig Ninemon donated $5. Thank you, Foundation Church and TLP.
Right back at you, Greg Ninemon. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Go next for me.
Last one.
Naz_Jaeger donated $5. Give us a dog story.
All right. Let me see. I'm going to tell Aaron and Will already know this one. If you were at Foundation Church, you might know this one too. But it's the one that pops in my mind. It really is one of the funniest ones ever. But my dog, he's a Malinois, and he's a troublemaker. Like, you got to watch him. Like, he'll kill everything. Like, literally killed 2 hogs by himself last year. He's gotten me in trouble. Gotten a neighbor's cat. Cost me $420 to get the neighbor's cat's hole sewed up after he got a hold of the cat. Luckily, he got up a tree or it would no longer be alive. He's killed so many raccoons, I don't know how many there are that he's killed. But anyway, one night, I used to walk, and now at night, he's on a leash at night because it's just too much death. And I'm an animal nut. Like, it breaks my heart when he kills stuff. And he killed a raccoon one time, and he killed this baby raccoon. And there was 2 babies, like right after they'd left their mother. So they're still little guys, and they're like marching through the woods. And he goes and just gets a hold of one, and he would have gotten the other one too, but it scurried up a tree. So as I got him off of the first one after it was already dead, I look up and there's a little raccoon looking at me with his little eyes, like, "Why did you ever let that happen?" And it just like broke my heart. But here's the story I'll tell you. But anyway, so I used to walk him at night without a leash. And he had gotten ahead of me 50, 60 yards, and I called him. He didn't come immediately, but then he came to me. And I didn't even notice at the time he wears a lighted leash, a fully lit leash, red, just blood red, shiny red, lit collar, not leash, collar. And I'm like, I didn't even notice that he didn't have it on when he came back. So I get him when he comes back, and we live right on the edge of the Mayaca State Forest, and it's fenced with a barbed wire fence. And I look out. I walk to where he was when he disappeared. And I always call him Houdini because he will just disappear. And I look out in the woods, and his collar's out in the woods. Like, I look out there, and it's about 50 feet into the woods. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, what happened? So I shine my light over there, and I look, and his collar is around the body, around the torso of a dead raccoon. He'd gotten a hold of the raccoon, shook it to death, and as he's shaking the raccoon to death, he left his collar around the raccoon. So I crawled under the fence and got his collar back off the dead raccoon. There you go. Very eerie. Like, you're like, what is that? Wait a minute. How could his collar... First, you have to think about it. How did his collar get around a wild animal? How did this happen? And that was the deal. All right, so there's your dog story. Love you, Naz. All right, speaking of dogs, we got a lot of dogs coming out here in the post-game. Absolutely no politics in the post-game, I don't think. I don't think there's one political thing in the post-game.
No.
So nice and relaxing. You're going to love it. Back here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, as always. Love you guys. God bless you.
You're dirty, sweet, and you're my girl. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. When you'll be a rabbit call, you gotta hug cat, diamond star halo.
Tommy, no! That's so nice. You giving her a big hug? Bro. Got it! You love Thor. He loves you too. It's gonna get you, Todd.
Can you feel it?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now...
Yeah.
Swim off, you beautiful, beautiful
Ah! Let go of my finger, motherfucker!
Who's calling? Who called? Oh, okay, what's that?
Turtles out there?
Oh! I know. I'll take 2 hands on camera.
Team Fishermen, we're making a difference. Let's keep posting quality fish releases.
Clean release. We got a...
He's heavy as shit, bro!
Nothing all over it.
I'm a weed.
Fantastic ride by the Norwegian. Victory is here, second of the year for Unimax Mobility. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh my god. Oh my god! Yeah!
This podcast is all about. We talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.